To move forward, well, we all know financial institutions are estimated to lose almost $43 billion by 2026 in an annual credit card losses according to Nielsen. Now, I am not scaring all of you, okay? So it's just not all about money here. Though fraud can actually tarnish an organization reputation and most importantly frustrate customers when they actually want to do genuine purchases which are blocked. Now the solution for the above needs to be faster, smarter, and of course digital first with the world that we are ever evolving in. So let's supercharge our defenses and let's turn risk into resilience. Coming up on the stage are the key speakers who shall be presenting the presentation of supercharging fraud intelligence with new data sources. And I'm calling upon the key speakers, Mr. Sanup Sashidharan, Product Head, Sentinel Finbox. Can we have him on stage, please? Joining him on stage is Kapil Bhagat, Product Solution Specialist, Finbox. Both of them are the key industry speakers and experts out here. Let's hear it from their side of story. Can we have a huge round of applause and welcome them? Come on. Well, thank you for joining in.
Good morning, everyone. It's tough to take over from a power-packed panel, but I'd like to keep up to the expectations here. To the very beginning, as we come from Finbox, we have had the privilege to work with the best of the industry leaders, and we have collated certain data and trend points from there, and it's our duty to give it back to the industry, and hence I'm diving into some things which are about the modern risk and fraud stack and how is digital lending moving in the modern ecosystem. Traditionally, everyone was aware that branch-based banking was the primary ecosystem, and the DSA channel evolved with the increase of push sales. But with the dot-com bubble and a lot of quest for digital, bank made their own web applications, websites, and then they tried to sell their products from those sources. But now more and more, again, the push culture is coming to the digital world, and banks are trying to reach to their customers from the channels where they are already available, which has given birth to the channels like embedded credit as well as open framework. This essentially changes the dynamics in a certain way. For the first three generations of banking, which was branch, direct selling agents, as well as applications, it was very essential that there was a physical touch point. And hence, if you go by the master directions of KYC, the physical touch points are taken into consideration, your identity card, your facial recognition points. But as we move to embedded credit, we see more and more requirement of digital touch points, which are video-based KYCs, the customer KYCs where the person is not physically meeting. This essentially increases the scope of fraud. Fraudsters are learning faster than us, is what some people say, but we also have to catch up, and hence we also have to work around the different fraud syndicates that have come in. Since it's completely digital, we can see there is a lot of document fraud, there is a transaction fraud, and there are challenges with the behavioral data. These come in forms as simple as PDF tampering to as complicated as app cloning and device spoofing. So with this increase of fraud, we need to have modern mechanisms to catch for those solutions. These modern mechanisms can be having device vintage data and Tor-based solutions, which are for the advanced frauds. But a simple solution like an address triangulation. Have we ever thought that for address verification we have multiple data points? There you can get address from DigiLocker. Your address is parked in credit bureau's data. You have that long access if you are using bank web applications. But still, this is all mobile data. So how do you ensure someone is staying at one place? One idea can be multiple delivery partners, quick commerce apps are reaching that place on a regular basis. So are you well aware that how frequently the quick commerce partner is going there? Is your vendor or someone who you are using in terms of tech solution provider, is he looking into that? So all these data points are something that we need to mull upon to ensure how can we catch fraud at a better rate? Why do I want it to come from quick commerce? Why do I not want a physical verification? Essentially, as the number of steps increases, what we have seen is people abandon the applications. 30% of applications are abandoned at the application stage. There can be multiple reasons to it, and this can vary product-wise. But with the long amount of data set that we have from different clients, we do not see this 30% of users to be very unevenly distributed. They are distributed almost on equal stands on address documentation, KYC documents, and identity documents. Essentially, KYC means image-based checks. So there are different trade-offs here. The trade-offs come in the challenge of customer experience versus risk assessment, and how do you maximize your risk assessment with the most simple customer experience is where we want to present one solution, which is a platform for orchestrating different data points available. You can bring in your external data points here. It has effortless risk control implementation. It has holistic fraud visibility and control. You can simulate your policies here. I would now request my counterpart, Sanu, to take over and show how Sentinel helps you scale in fraud prevention.
Hi. Everyone, thanks Kapil for setting up the use cases that one needs to be wary of in this new age of digital media. I know the name Sentinel is common in multiple booths, so I'll try to keep this focused. One thing which I like to highlight is a lot of lending journeys have moved from an NSTP to an STP flow. And what has happened is these journeys have fell into hands of DSAs, and a lot of the origination happens from a single source. And so there are different mechanisms in which frauds can happen. This is one thing which I would like to touch upon. And I don't have presentations to show you. I have a live demo wherein I'll showcase a very simple policy wherein we try to flag a customer based on device and banking information. This can be extended to your early warning signals or your fraud detection logics. Now, as you can see, the way we look at policy is in the form of a workflow. Now, this can be your pointed solution, which can be for employment verification, for your fraud checks, for your underwriting. Now, the basic device checks that we have done here is how many applications they have, how many count of loan applications they have. You can also create rules around, are there any fake GPS apps on this device? What is the device concentration is basically telling you that multiple loans are originating from a single application. The same kind of checks can be extended towards banking information. Now this can be driven by a AA funnel, which happens on a recurring basis, like monthly basis, wherein we have how many check bounces are happening, what is the average banking balance at everything, multiple checks that you would want to do. So the idea is not to show you the rules. The idea is to show you the platform that is capable of creating this rule without depending on a tech player or any vendor. So this is completely maintained by your team. I would like to move towards the second phase wherein, so what are the three main pillars when you try to create a pointed solution? How you can create the policy, how you can simulate and test the behavior of the policy. Now, so Sentinel comes in with a suite that allows you to simulate policies with different scenarios. And once the simulation is done, there is another pain point. How do you analyze the simulation result? Usually it's a big Excel file that your team will have to trim down and analyze. So we have like an agent that allows you to question your simulation report. So let's say I want to understand what is the distribution of loan amount for the policy that I just showcased. As you can see, the top reasons of rejection is me testing the internet. So you are able to see the reasons of rejections for the policy. And let's see if this works. Great. So you basically get to analyze what is the distribution of loan amount that is generated. This can be how many are getting, what is the highest loan amount that you can get, what is the bucketing for the loan amount that a user is line, and you can question for risk segments. It depends totally on the use case that you've created. Now, also we have the feature wherein you can control the deployment of policy, which is allowing your policy to run in parallel of your existing live policy. Kapil, can we show the endpoint? Endpoint page. Okay. Yeah, this is what happens when the laptop is very fast for me. So the tool also enables you to simulate. Can you just go one step down? The flag. About. Yeah. This is how you can simulate your policy. So we have different modes wherein you can do it on a historical data. So if you want to test your new version on last 1 month users, you can just select the date range and run the simulation. So basically we have removed the overhead of your credit team or your analyst team, and the entire feature is packed into one centralized system that allows you to test, debug, and deploy policies. Now, so multiple lenders use Sentinel for different use cases, credit underwriting being the primary one. It is also used for fraud checks and derogatory checks, basic 18 criteria. It is also used for your internal automations. So you might want to automate dispersal for a specific loan amount if the customer is premium, if there is low touch point in the journey. So these kind of internal automations can also be done, and multiple pointed solutions like contact point verification, employment verification, these can be extended in the tool. So yeah, I mean these are the numbers that our current clients are getting. Yeah, I think that's it from my end. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Once they come up, we can address them separately. Thanks a lot for your time.
Well, thank you. Thank you for such an informative presentation. I'll request you to join us on the center stage, and I'll request Mr. Ashish Chandan to please come on stage for felicitating both of the presenters out here. First and foremost, I'll request Mr. Sanup to kindly accept the memento. Can we have a fabulous round of applause? Come on. Also, I'll request Mr. Kapil Bhagat to kindly accept the memento from us.